The Sims 4 Discover University is the latest expansion pack for The Sims 4, and from the outset, it is clear that this is one of the largest expansions so far. The expansion has shipped with some very rich gameplay, getting young adult Sims out of the family home and beginning their adult life while attending university. This isn't the first college-themed Sims expansion, as The Sims 2 University introduced Sims to higher education years ago and was continued once more in The Sims 3 University Life. However, while similar, this latest expansion is far more richly detailed and even has 2 campuses for Sims to choose from. The University of Brightchester is the main university situated in the town of Brightchester and caters to the more traditional or artistic type of studying. Alternatively, the Foxbury Institute offers an education to the more logical and technical of students, equipped with a state-of-the-art robotics labs. Each university provides standard degrees and that provide a boost to their associated careers by offering a higher starting position, increased salary and more vacation days, and specialty, distinguished degrees, that offer even more. However, in order to secure a place on a distinguished degree course, your Sims will need to be an A-level student while at high school and have the necessary skill levels required. As such, distinguished degrees offer yet more benefits to start position, salary and vacation days. Standard degrees can also be undertaken and can be just as good as a distinguished degrees provided your Sims work hard enough. However, your final degree result when graduating university will ultimately determine your benefits, which can be higher or lower depending on a Sim's final GPA and honors. UBright is more of a traditional campus and is based on the classic university structure with architecture and surroundings inspired by Oxford and Cambridge in the UK. Covering a large area that requires 2 neighborhoods, UBright is quite picturesque, and as well as a large study library, upscale dorms and expensive surrounding housing, the area also features traditional British-style pubs. Given that UBright is a traditional university with an emphasis on the arts and literature, its organizations reflect the academic standards upheld the institution. First and foremost, the University of Brightchester is revered for its research and debate skills, and as such holds regular debate competitions by way of the Debate Guild, which meets at Derby's Den. The Arts Society also holds events around the quad and welcomes artists of all manner to join in their fun and creative activities. The Foxbury Institute prides itself on being a premier technology-based school with an emphasis on tech-based courses and activities. Half the size of UBright, Foxbury is more of a niche college with smaller dorms and commons areas, but just as fun and interesting as UBright, and even has a robotics lab. Given their propensity for all things tech, Foxbury is home to the bot savants who get together to discuss robots and build gadgets together at Larry's Lagoon. Being home to the more geeky type Sims, Foxbury also entertains the Brainiacs, a specialized study group that love nothing more than prepping for exams and discussing coursework. Organizations are university-specific, so for example, Sims from UBright cannot belong to the bot savants, as they are situated at Foxbury. Sims from differing establishments, however, can take part in activities during a particular organization meeting even if they are not a member. As well as their different features, each establishment has its own interactive areas, including a study hall, commons area, open space event area and arena. Each study hall has the new study spot and university student hangout spot, lot rates that boost studying and encourage students to gather respectively. Commons areas provide access to the powerful new era machines that can boost skills quickly by researching different types of information offered by the machines, as well as finding out about the history of the 2 universities. The Commons also facilitates organization gatherings and allows Sims to order some food via the food stations that are open for breakfast, lunch and dinner at various times throughout the day. The open space event areas, or quads, for each school serves as the meeting grounds for various activities throughout each term, which are different depending on the college. Foxbury, for example, may hold a Utilibot judging competition whereby students from the tech-based school can show off their latest robot creations to earn a prize. Or Sims can just come along and play with the machines and have some fun while they're at it. While attending an event at the Foxbury Institute, I had a sim meet one of the new servobots, which are extremely cool, play with quadcopters and dance away with the insanely fun party bot. Open space areas can also serve as the hosting grounds for organization events such as the Brightchester Spirit Corps Game Day Party, that provides juice pong and kegs for a raucous gathering before the match. These events happen at specific times and function the same as the festivals from The Sims 4, City Living. Similarly, you will be informed when an event is about to take place so that you can attend. Sims are not limited by their university affiliation as to what events they can attend, as each university event and organization gathering is open for all Sims. The open nature of events allows Sims from different schools to intermingle and further reinforces the friendly rivalry of each school. School rivalry is personified by university mascots Larry the Lobster and Darby the Dragon of Foxbury and Ubright respectively. The quads are also where dorms are situated, and although the neighborhood is accessible by all, only Sims from their respective university may enter campus residential buildings at each grounds. Other quad features include university merchandise stands, food and drink stalls, university statues and guest lecture halls. Merchandise stands allow Sims to get into the school spirit by purchasing specific clothing sporting their college colors, buying university items and looking up university-specific information. Apparel includes top and bottom clothing, sweatpants and sweatshirts, as well as a hat that can be worn by Sims from each establishment. The stands also sell university items such as sports goods, college course books that help with final exams, and home items such as rugs, mirrors and posters. Most of these can be purchased via the Build Buy menu, including the new bikes and mini fridges that shipped with the expansion and not the latest update. Information provided by these stands allows Sims to check their class grades, enrollment status, upcoming organization events, scholarships and term information. Using the stand is one of the features that add to the feeling of belonging to a particular university, as the game tries very hard to get you into the school spirit. Food and drink stalls are pretty much the same as other stalls in the game and provide some new foods and drinks. Each of these foods and drinks can provide small but useful buffs for Sims, as well as filling a small amount of the hunger need, useful during long study sessions. University statues are large monoliths situated in each school's quad area and can provide some fun moodlets, while each one has unique interaction options. There's even a special interaction that can help Sims with their academic path. One of the most interesting features of the quads is that each has a guest lecture hall where Sims can sit in on guest lectures, sit in on a skill class, or even provide tutoring themselves. Utilizing the lecture hall is an excellent way to build skills and moodlets, while it's also a necessary step for the new academic aspiration. Once this aspiration has been completed, it will provide graduated Sims a boost to skill building when using ERM machines and allow them to earn more money from publishing research papers. The first step to getting to a university is to first apply using a computer and then waiting for an acceptance letter, which will typically take around 3 days. Once your Sim receives their acceptance letter, they will be informed of whether they met the requirements for the school, and based upon their skills and school grades can proceed to apply. Application of particular degrees is based upon school performance and skills known, as some degrees, especially distinguished degrees, have higher requirements. Sims can also apply for scholarships, although to be honest, it isn't necessary, as education seems to be really cheap in the world of The Sims at less than $1,000. I feel this was a lost opportunity and that the game feels very unrealistic, as it would have made working for and ultimately applying for scholarships more satisfying and rewarding. When your sim has selected their options for study, they can then choose to stay at home when studying or move to Brightchester to live in dorms or private housing. While private housing may sound more appealing, dorms are situated on the university quad where everything a sim could possibly need is provided, as well as being at the center of all the college action. Actually studying for GPA advancement is straightforward, however will require you to effectively manage your sim's time accordingly. Each class requires a homework daily task as well as a special assignment, which is usually a term paper or a presentation, each of which needs to be completed before the last class of the term. While these aren't particularly difficult, they will need to be drafted and improved for the best grade, basically being worked on twice. Given the amount of work required and the fact that there are 2 classes per day, juggling a sim's time between study, work and play actually requires some planning, and perks such as seldom sleepy are a huge advantage. This is highlighted by the fact that some actions such as giving a final presentation can only be undertaken between 8 AM and 4 PM. Therefore, university work will take up the vast majority of a sim's time if they wish to get the best grade, which may lead to missing out on a large part of the fun activities happening around campus. This requires the player to balance the time of the sims effectively rather than the developers having done a better job of time and activity management. This strikes a poor balance considering that the game goes out of its way to try to get the player to undertake additional activities. Additionally, if you're aiming to complete the academic aspiration, your time will be stretched even more thinly and require even more management according to the requirements of the aspiration goals. Each of the 4 terms lasts for 5 weekdays with a weekend in between, which should be taken as a fortunate opportunity to get ahead of the following beginning of term coursework, rather than going out and having too much fun. Upon conclusion of study at any of these institutions, your sims will earn their degree. Rather than being a fancy certificate that they can be proud of, a degree has the benefit of allowing sims to begin at a higher level in their chosen career, will pay more money and allocate more vacation days. Apart from studying, The Sims 4 Discover University has also added 3 new careers for your sims to work in, and although they aren't active careers, they offer some great new interactions, perks and unique items. The law career is for sims with a propensity for justice, not necessarily for all. With 2 branches covering judge and private attorney, this career provides job opportunities for the just and not so just students of law. Education is a much requested returning career for sims with that academic spark, whether it by inspiring young minds or being inspired to push visionary boundaries. The branches of this career include the administrator career, which caters to a more scholastic path, and the professor branch that caters to the more mentally apt sim. Engineering is a brand new career for the sims and is geared more towards sims who enjoy building things. As such, there are 2 types of engineer paths available: mechanical for gearhead sims and computer-based engineering for tech-savvy sims. Each The Sims 4 expansion pack comes with a ton of new features, and this one is no exception. There are some returning features that have been highly requested, as well as some extremely cool new features unique to this EP. One of the most anticipated features of this expansion is the new robotics skill. Robots are nothing new in the world of The Sims and have in fact, like aliens, been a staple feature of the game since its very early days. While the robotics skill isn't difficult to level up, it is a tedious process to build robots since they require some parts which cannot be purchased and need to be made by the sim. Mechanisms and computer chips need to be manufactured by the sims and take some time to create. This is further hampered by the frequent electric shocks your sim will receive while building items at the Dr. F official robotics station. Shocks will put your sim in a dazed state, and unless you want your sim to die of electrocution, you will need to wait for 3 hours before using the station again. I cannot state in words appropriate for this article just how infuriating this can be, even when a sim has level 10 handiness and/or logic skills. This doesn't help with shocks. I did find, however, that once past level 7 of the robotics skill and with a focus moodlet, the amount of shock reduced significantly, where it all but disappears at level 10. While building robots is very tedious, it is also extremely rewarding. The feeling of satisfaction when finishing an ultra-cool Utilibot is amazing, and the time spent developing the parts is almost worth it. Obviously, Servo and RoboArm are just as cool, and if you wish to build a lot of robots, then RoboArm is a necessity, as it will reduce component building times by 20%. The inclusion of bicycles is a godsend for players with multiple expansions, as some of the game worlds, including Brightchester, are now becoming rather large, so running everywhere not only looks silly but just isn't feasible anymore. Although there is a little disappointment as there is only one option and kids cannot use them, the bikes look great, they're animated excellently and provide fitness and fun for Sims. In addition, they are very fast, which makes large neighborhood traversal seem not as boring anymore, and there is, at last, a walk here option, although for some strange reason this is only available when a bike is in a Sims inventory. Whether at university or in their own homes, Sims can now advertise for roommates using the phone or computer. This will add additional Sims to the household who will contribute to bills and household chores should they be so inclined. Be warned that not all Sims are nice to live with, and roommate Sims cannot be controlled directly. The Sims 4 Discover University is a very large expansion, and one that has been designed excellently with that Sims sheen that only Maxis can do. Attending university is fun, and provides unique gameplay that is a welcome separation from the usual, at-home, gameplay of The Sims, similar to the Get to Work expansion pack. However, the fact that attending classes is presented as a rabbit hole feature is a little disappointing, as some interactivity in this area is a huge lost opportunity to provide some fresh gameplay. Also, for whatever reason, the town of Brightchester is sparsely populated, and wandering around the U-Bright Quad trying to find something to do can feel like a ghost town. Disappointments aside, university gameplay is well implemented with an emphasis on study, school spirit and winding down, just as it should be. Although the developers have evidently made school spirit a core gameplay feature by making sure there is always something to do, a lot of this gets in the way of studying. This makes careful planning of a Sim's time is absolutely necessary should you wish to make the grade. This appears to contradict the efforts made for having fun, because absent some powerful traits, it is extremely difficult to balance a study life program for your Sims, given that they are usually so needy. The inclusion of 3 new careers, each with excellent and unique reward items, rounds up the features of the game nicely and will provide some great new directions for Sims. However, the shining feature of this expansion is the robotic skill and building robots, which is a very missed feature which was last seen at the end of The Sims 3's run of expansions in The Sims 3 Into the Future. As time-consuming and frustrating as building bots is, it feels very rewarding to see the finished product, which can then be kept or sold for cash, and were it not included, a game pack of robotics alone would have been welcome. All of these features combined make up a very substantial Sims 4 expansion pack that not only adds more dimensions to Sims gameplay but is so large and with so much to do will do so well until the next expansion arrives. The Sims 4 Discover University is an expansion well worth picking up, and one that I feel has more depth to it than first appears. I cannot recommend this EP enough, and I for one have not been too disappointed despite some of the missed opportunities that, to be fair, are limitations of the game engine and not the developers' ambition.